All right, I jumped into a two-player queue for our third round, and we won the die roll. We're gonna go ahead and play first. And this hand's all right. We have some decent interaction from our opponents playing some sort of creature deck, and some of our utility creatures. None of our sort of best stuff. We don't have Knight, we don't have Nicodle Hierarch, but we do have a reasonable draw. So I'm not gonna mulligan this. And I'm going to lead with Stomping Ground. And I'm tempted to lead with it untapped, just because in a lot of matchups you actually really want to be able to bolt on turn one. It's really, this is the sort of thing that can often be a really important decision. Like if you're playing against some decks, like Affinity for instance, having the mana efficiency of actually casting my Lightning Bolt in turn one is huge. The difference in whether I take 2 damage or not in a lot of matchups is not huge, and the value you actually get from the mana efficiency of Lightning Bolt, even against like Burn, like if my opponent plays a Goblin Guide, I'd rather have a Stomping Ground untapped. So I actually am going to pay the 2 life and just say go. I specifically want to do this because I really need to use Verdant Catacombs to go get a white source for Pride Mage. So I think that taking the 2 damage is worthwhile here, and hopefully I don't just look like an idiot, but we'll find out. Ataxian Probe. All right, well, maybe our opponent's playing Storm, in which case we probably don't want to cast that Bolt, and maybe the 2 life matters. But so Storm is my guess off the top of my head here, just because it seems very likely with the turn 1 Probe. Not many other decks actually play Probe. Our hand's actually pretty good against Storm. I mean, our Bolt and Path are not great, but Pride Mage and Ooze are both quite powerful. Pride Mage because it can kill Ascension, and Ooze because it interacts really well, both against Ascension and against Past in Flames. Alright, yeah, Storm seems exceptionally likely. And we have taken a bunch of damage now. Hopefully it's not suddenly Burn. Pillar. Oh, maybe your opponent is actually playing like Blue-Red Delver or something. well, that makes me feel sillier. All right, well, we're bolting him and playing a Hierarch. We did stop our opponent from playing a turn 1 Delver, which is actually kind of nice. We basically time walked our opponent's turn 1 in a way. He clearly would have just played turn 1 Delver, and instead just didn't play a spell in turn 1. So it's arguable that getting taking that 2 damage is actually totally worthwhile because of the way that we influenced our opponent's tempo. Blue-Red Delver is a matchup that I think is generally quite good for this deck. Smiter and Knight are both incredible. As Tarmogoyf is also very good, and Choke, Thrun, all really powerful cards in this matchup. And you have both Bolt and Path, so it's difficult for them to tempo you out. It's very warm in my room right now. Gonna have his Remand or Mana Leak, and I'm just gonna smite him. It's gonna be glorious. Oh, we can play a Lavamancer. Okay. In that case, I kind of want to play Scavenging Ooze and eat his Delver. Though he could have just a Spell Snare here, so Smiter's probably a safer choice anyway. I'm not scared of your Lavamancer. Actually, I'm kind of scared. It's very good against my hand. But don't show weakness. Island. Snapcaster. Oop, there's my packs for my other one. I'm guessing a Snapcaster. Serum Visions. Oh, Pillar. That's odd. You have a Lavamancer in play. That seems like a strange choice. He misclicked, I'm guessing. Just like, that seems like a very odd decision to Snapcaster Pillar of Flame. I would have done something differently. Alright, well, it seems he is not doing that. I like your Snapcaster Mage. So here, he can't actually Lavamancer my Smiter away after blocking. I kind of just want to cast a bunch of stuff and overload his Lavamancer here. Like cast Hierarch, cast Pride Mage. Casting Ooze isn't very exciting because he can just remove his Delver. So I'm just going to cast Hierarch. Cast Pride Mage. And now my Smiter is going to be huge. If he plays some sort of counter, that's fine. You know, still I'm just hitting him with Smiter for like 6 damage. And potentially, alright, yeah, he's mana leaking it. So yeah, Smiter still attacks for 6. Now if he's not Lavamancering my guy, Ooze actually becomes very powerful. If he's not Lavamancering one of my Hierarchs, because I have multiple activations, and now he's a pretty stocked graveyard for the Lavamancer, but I have a lot of mana now. He's down to 2 cards. That Snapcaster was really unfortunate for him. Young Pyromancer, ooh, that's kind of interesting. He only has 1 card though, so I'm not really too afraid of it. I'm just going to cast Scavenging Ooze. There's like Mana Leak that could be annoying, but he does not. So, alright. And I actually want to Scavenging Ooze this right now. and Scavenging Ooze this right now while you are tapped out and cannot Lava Mancer them away. Now it is your turn. Scavenging Ooze seems like it's going to be really powerful here. Alright, he's just conceding. So sideboard-wise, we definitely want Choke, and we definitely want Thrun. My inclination is that Pride Mage is relatively weak here. It's not very good. He may have some number of Threads of Disloyalty, so I don't want to get rid of all of them, but I think I want to get rid of like 2. And I'm also not a huge fan of the necessarily Chandra against him. He does have both Lavamancer and Young Pyromancer, but maybe I want like a couple of Bonfires. Those could be good. Maybe Bonfire is sweet here. All of my bigger guys seem good. Thrun seems great. Smiter's great. Knight's great. Choke's great. Maybe I just want to cut another Pride Mage. Pride Mage is fairly weak. Let's try it like this. Maybe I even want like a 3rd Bonfire, knowing that he has Young Pyromancer in his deck. I'm gonna try it. I have not played against this deck, but you know, Bonfire actually seems pretty great against both Pyromancer, and it's okay against Lavamancer. I probably don't want that many. Let's only play 2. I don't want to have like 3 Bonfires in my hand, or even really 2 Bonfires in my hand. And I don't want to increase my curve that much. I think leaving the 1 Pride Mage in is pretty sweet against you know, the possibility of threads and such. Maybe even 2 Pride Mages in. I want to try Bonfire though, so we're gonna try Bonfire. You can really sort of think of, you know, the impact the card will have in the game, but ooh, a Choke. Choke is sweet. We will not mulligan. I kind of want to just get basic Forest. It's possible that, you know, his deck has something like Blood Moon in it. So we want to go get a basic Forest. We have sufficient action that you know, sufficient fetches that I feel like we're not really challenged on our colored mana. So getting the basics in case of Blood Moon, and also just my life total does matter in this matchup. My opponent has burn spells and pressure. He didn't play a turn 1 Delver. So I hope he plays a turn 1 sacks and gets a Steam Vent and plays Young Pyromancer. I just hope he taps mana so I can choke him, mostly. Boo. Boo. Alright. That's fine. All I want to do is cast Choke. It's really all I want to do. It's like my life goal really is casting Choke. Sulfur Falls. You can't get choked. Boo. Cast a threat. Come on, man. Come on. Or if he has like Shadow of Doubt, I'd be kind of wrecked. Play Young Pyromancer or something. Wild Nicottle. Remand it. I don't have another way to cast it. Remand it. All right, sweet. Cast it. Haha, I got you good. Oh my god, he's slow. Wow, Nakata is going to resolve. Yes, yes. Oh, he's lost connection because I cast a Wild Nakata. What a jerk. He's just like, man, I can't believe you had another green source. I just getting totally disconnected on. We'll find out. We'll find out shortly. I hope pausing this doesn't ruin it. I'm not going to pause it. I got to figure that out at some point, whether pausing it ruins it like it did before. I have the new Camtasia, which you would think would be better, but I'm not clear. Oh, he's back. Yes. All right. Face your fears. Those fears are Wild Nakata. And then try to play an island, tap that island, because you want to keep Sulfur Falls up. Try to Threads of Disloyalty it, I'll path it, then choke you. Yes. A mountain, you don't get choked. That's just ridiculous. All right, choke isn't even looking very good right now. I'm just gonna cast it. Given that it actually looks fairly weak, because he only has one island, I'm just gonna cast it. If he remands it, whatever. If he counters it, whatever. I'd rather resolve an Ajani, and I don't want to just not do anything with mana when they can potentially do something productive. If this eats a counterspell, it's less likely that he has something to stop Ajani. If it doesn't, then great, I have a choke in play. The one sad thing is he can snapcast a remand, but Spell Pierce, that's fine too. Why is Spell Pierce even seem good against my deck? It's sort of odd that it's in his deck, in my opinion. I mean, I guess you can Spell Pierce, Planeswalkers. I didn't really play anything against them early, though. Ooh, a Thrun. I kind of want to cast Thrun now and make him dead. We're gonna get basic planes because they don't want to take damage. And we're gonna make his life very difficult with a Wild Nakata and a Thrun. Thrun Dog Millionaire, as he's often called. What you got? He revealed an island. All right. Well, he drew an island. So you can have Cryptic now. A lot of these decks I think don't have 4 Cryptics though. So it's not necessarily something I need to worry too much about. Plus, I have Thrun, who is immune to many aspects of Cryptic Command. I kind of want to just say go here. I don't want to walk anything into Cryptic. And he's dead to my next attack, so. Remand. Okay. Do I want to path? I kind of want to path this during his upkeep. I don't really want him to draw remand, and if he counters it, that's also fine. I mean, I still have Thrun, and then I also have Ajani, so I'm not terribly scared. If he, he could theoretically cryptic this, and what, bounce Wild in the Coddle. So otherwise, if he does tap mana, a bunch of mana, I have Ajani in my hand that I can potentially punish him with. Mana Leak. I will pay. Okay. Another Mana Leak, maybe? Yeah, second Mana Leak. Oh, Snapcaster, Spell Pierce. All right. And now we know he's drawing Remand. And we can cast Ajani, kill his Aberration, and attack him with both guys. Which pretty much puts him dead, I think. I mean, he doesn't have another land in his hand to cast the Remand. He might have... Yeah, he doesn't have any other access to any other mana. Yeah, because he's casting the Spell Pierce anyway, so he has no mana. So he is just drawing Remand. We play Ajani, we kill this, we attack with both. He has to chump block. Yeah, he's pretty dead now. We will do 3 damage to this creature. I will attack with both of my creatures. Look at how good Thrun was when he had Mana Leak, Remand, all this action. Snapcaster for Remand and Mana Leak. I wonder if he had that Snapcaster when he could have Snapcaster remanded my choke rather than Spell Piercing it. I guess when you have Spell Pierce, there we go. Okay, he realizes he's dead and concedes. So we went 2-1. Beating 2 different blue-red decks, which are among the more popular decks in Modern, and then losing to the Amulet deck, which is a tough matchup. It's not a matchup I want to play against at all. And as I said, we could have mulliganed in that second game aggressively. It's almost certainly that it's correct to do so. I actually kind of just had a brain fart and didn't. I was just like, oh yeah, that's totally raised my hand. Wait, I'm playing against an Amulet deck. This was horrible. But I think that we had a really good shot to win that game 1, and I think that show, what that shows just a lot of the value of a card like Pride Mage, and that I think is really a lot of the center of the effectiveness of this particular version of Naya is just how good Pride Mage is and how much it gives you the ability to interact with things you normally wouldn't have, and thus just how much more game it gives you in the relatively wide open format it's Modern. It's great against the big 3 decks. We saw how good it was against the Splinter Twin deck in the first game, forced him to totally warp his game plan around removing my Pride Mages, and it was really powerful against Amulet of Vigor. Even if it didn't actually win us the game, it put us in a position where we weren't just getting crushed and allowed us to be in the game as opposed to just plain dead. And similarly, there's just lots of other matchups that can be really tough that Pride Mage is incredibly good in, like Boggles. Be able to kill their lifelink enchantment can frequently mean that they can't actually beat you, because you can just get a knight that's bigger than their guys and end up winning the game with that. So anyway, that is it for this week. I hope you had fun, hope you learned something. I'll be back with more videos next time, and we'll see what we're playing then. I got some new ideas. We're gonna try some of them out, but I gotta try some of them out first so they're not totally embarrassing on video. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.